यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family members and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 24 of 10th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Purodhasancha Mukhyam Mam विद्धि पार्थ बृहस्पतिं सेनानीनामहं स्कन्दः सरसामस्मि सागरः. Now Bhagavan Krishna, as he started explaining about his glory, first he began to explain the Paraloka Vibhuti. The Vibhuti means glories, the glories which can be understood by the human mind. But these glories which is only available in our Shastras. Therefore, you need to have a certain background of Shastra. At least, you will become aware right now, then you can dig the Shastras, you can find so many boons. And very interesting, they are all, many of them which are in the form of stories alone. Now for example, now Sarasam Asmi Sagaraha. So among the water reservoir resources, I become the ocean. Now, ocean is huge. In Purana, the ocean, why it is named as Sagaraha, that is known as a story. The story begins like this, There was a king called Sagara in name. Okay, whenever you start the story, we have the habitual of there was a king and queen, like that. So now Sagara Raja, the king Sagara had 60,001 children. My God, how it would be possible? And even Dasharatha married 10,000 times. So how can we believe like this? You have to remember, you are just reading the Puranic stories. The epics have their own style of narrating and presenting the things. You should just stick with the norms, the fundamental norms of Puranas. Because the Puranas are giving certain kinds of message, they have a tendency, a style. So while presenting, it presents in a vast manner. Like Bhagavad Gita, which happened in the battlefield, before just beginning the battle, so how many hours or how much time they would have spent to complete this 18th chapter? For us, it takes more than 300 classes. So how this Krishna and Arjuna would have planned that time now? The content is very important. When you study Bhagavad Gita, you have to spend long time, doesn't matter, but the things which you get, they are beyond the time. By the time you cannot get. With the time, so you may spend thousands of janma, you may not find the content which is narrated in the Bhagavad Gita anywhere else. In the same way, these stories, they have the great message. Those message you cannot find anywhere else. Now 60,001 children the Sagara had. The Sagara wanted to get this Ashwamedha yaga done. Because in those days, performing more yajnas, yagas, homas, because they were having lots of, supreme intelligent, all of them, they were aware about the importance of these all rituals, because rituals means now it is considered as a dead rituals. And in certain people, they also say it's a blind faith, useless job. Rituals, I always say, the rituals are alive. They are alive, and they are alive more than our consciousness. And those rituals are constructed based on our consciousness. When you perform, you are the person who make alive or bring the liveliness to that karma, to that action. Because actions are known as jadam, but the performer of the actions are not known as jadam. Because everything involved with Chaitanya, but the performer who is nothing but Chaitanya Swarupam itself, he can make a ritual into alive things. In those days, they were giving proper respect for these kind of rituals, and this Ashwamedha, Vishwajita, and Vajabeyaha, these yagas are huge, because you need to spend a long time and a huge amount and lots of efforts. A king can get it done, or you must be a billionaire or millionaire. When Sagara had this idea, all of his sons were also very happy, because 60,000 sons means you can do anything in this earth. Then they began the Ashwamedha Yaga. Ashwamedha Yaga means a horse must be sent through all the kingdoms. It has to pass through their kingdom. If they welcome it, they become friendly to this nation. If they oppose, they will be defeated definitely. Therefore 60,000 people were on that horse, and nobody dared to oppose the horse. That horse was easily passing through, and I think it was done for long years. Finally, 2-3 days were remaining to complete that horse, the path to be completed. 1 or 2 kingdoms were there. At that time, one person who always scans the earth with a fear, so somebody should have not compete him, called Indra. And Indra, who is the supreme of all celestial being, always endowed with insecurity, because this Indra Padavi, the seat of Indra, always shaking. If a person performs yajna yaga more than 100, they will become Indra, and this person will be kicked off to some other things. Therefore, he is always scanning the earth. Wherever some rituals is on, he just wants to confirm whether it is in favor of him or opposed to him. Therefore, what he usually does, whenever there is an Ashwamedha Yaga, he steals the horse and escapes. That in these yajnas also, he did the same. When he kidnapped the horse, these thousands of people, 60,000 of Sagara's sons, they become aware, they started chasing him. Except one person who was known as Asamanjas. Usually Asamanjas means in our colloquial language, an idiot, who is not useful for anything. We call it a useless person, Asamanjas. Not we. Usually, people have their own habitual of criticizing people. Or if a person is not intelligent enough, who is active enough, who is not able to compete with others, known as Asamanjas. So except him, all other 60,000 sons started chasing Indra. Indra started running. He was not finding place, because on the earth he went all around. The days of fast, and these people were continuing for pujas, and they were hurried to bring the hearts. Then Indra did one thing, because if he goes heaven, then the 60,000 people will reach the heaven. So when they reach the heaven, they become celestial beings. Indra himself doesn't want to commit that mistake, because once they were converted into celestial being, Indra cannot defeat them. Therefore, what he did was, he went to Patal Loka. Patala Loka means what? The Loka which underneath the earth. And you should not ask how he went, what kind of JCB or Pokling missions or nuclear bomb he did and he went down. No, just go along with the story. Somehow he reached Patala Loka, and these Sagaraha, Sagaraputraha, they didn't want to leave him. Therefore, they also wanted to go to Patala Loka. Therefore, they started digging, all over, and 60,000 people at once. Then, when they started digging, it was, the huge pit was created. So, when the huge pit created, so automatically the water started filling it. That water is considered as Sagaraha. Because Sagaraputra, Sagaraha created it, therefore it is known as Sagaraha. Therefore, we got the answer how the ocean got the name Sagaraha. But story continues. Let us finish the story, So when they also reached Patala Loka, he went around all Patala Loka. Finally, Indra didn't have any option. He had to leave the heart. Therefore, what he did was, Kapila Rishi, who was doing meditation nearby, he looked at him and he had the plan, just tie the hearts nearby him and escaped. And this Sagaraputraha, they didn't know this trick. They reached that place. Kapila was doing meditation because not aware about this thing. When they started shouting, Kapila opened his eyes. He looked the hearts and he looked these people. Then he became annoyed with these people because a rishi, when he does tapas, one should not disturb him. So upasana means undisturbed upasana. And this all story was told to Rama and Lakshmana by Vishwamitra, who wanted to continue for the tapas. The Vishwamitra, who requested Dasharatha to send the Rama and Lakshmana with him to conclude a Purascharana. Purascharana means the avarti of mantra. Because in ancient time, every Indians, we used to have our own mantra. Every father should give and should save the assets for his son. And the same father should give assets which cannot be perished, which cannot be destroyed. That is mantra. Therefore, now even Gayatri should be initiated by the father, because father should have done every day. That mantra becomes a proper assets. These all other assets they are temporary assets. They can be destroyed. They will perish in a day, but this mantra won't get perished. Once you receive the mantra as an initiation, you have to get it done Purascharana. Purascharana means repeating the mantras for the lakhs of time. There is a method. If Gayatri considers 24 syllables, then you can complete a Purascharana by finishing 24 lakhs time, Akshara Laksha Japam. Every syllable should be chanted by lakh of times. So 1 lakh time. So every letter means 24 lakhs of time must be repeated that mantra. Then 1 Purascharana. Then Tarpana, Marjana, Yajna. So all Brahmana, Bhojana must be given. There are 6 kinds of glories. The steps are there for this Purascharana. Vishwamitra wanted to complete, because when you do Purascharana, you are fighting with your own karma phala. Therefore, hurdles, obstacles may take place. In order to avoid those obstacles, he wanted to be protected by Rama and Lakshmana. Therefore, he requested, and Dasharatha also sent them happily. On the way to reach Aranya, they started walking on foot. They were not using the chariot, because in those days, they were not using the chariot because forests were available. Nowadays, there is no forest, only concrete jungles are available. You cannot walk on the concrete road. The leg will be burnt. So while walking, and these people were young, Rama and Lakshmana, what Vishwamitra thought of, in order to overcome their leg pain, Vishwamitra started saying the stories. So among that stories, one story known as Gangavataranam, there where this incident come. He started narrating to them about a Sagara king, and he continues with this story. Now the story goes on. So when this Sagara Putraha, they dug the pit and they reached Kapila Rishi, started shouting, then Kapila Rishi cursed them. Because when a rishi is doing upasana, it should not be disturbed. When you disturb, because it requires lots of efforts to sit in a place and get it done, the tapas. So anything outside can be done very easily. Sitting in a place and having tapas, and the tapas to be done it inwards, not outwards. That's willful self-denial. Always, tapas means willful self-denial. You just give up the outside world and you dig inside of you. You need to have lots of efforts. If that is interrupted, you become annoyed. The rishi become annoyed and cursed. Now in this place you should not ask, how can a rishi curse? When you go against dharma, they get raudram. There are two words, krodha and raudra. Krodha, you become slave to that, but the raudra, you become owner of that. Therefore, Durvasa Maharishi, who had the boon, whenever he get anger, he was boosted with his energy. You see the construction of the characteristics in our characters in our history. The Raudram is a positive anger, because when you are doing adharma, that adharma is stopped. It is prevented by this Raudra. So when you become an administrator, you should use the Raudra. So that is a different discussion. Now here, see, when he cursed, the all people were burned down into ash. All 60,000, these Sagara Putras, they were converted into ash. Finished. Kaam khatam ho gaya. Then these people were waiting for the hearts for the years. They didn't come. The Sagara became very sad, and he requested his son, who remained not going with them, that Asamanjas, he requested, please find your brothers, because we need to have them and find the hearts. The Sagara died, and this Asamanjas also tried all over, but he was not able to found. Then he also passed away after requesting his son Amshuman, and Amshuman also spent whole lifetime to find, because nobody thought of going to Patala. Then Amshuman also became old enough. Then he called his son called Bhagiratha, and he requested to find his elders, his ancient forefathers. Then this Bhagiratha, who had got a little bit tapas, and he came to know they were in Patala. Then he went there, because he did tapas. He did tapas to find them, and somehow he got a glory to reach Patala. Then he reached Kapila Rishi, because I am making it short, otherwise we won't have the time to finish it. Then Kapila said everything. Now he requested Kapila to make, to bring back them, but Kapila said, this curse cannot be brought back. But one thing I can say, the remedy for this, and I always tell, don't get cursed. Therefore be careful with these our Sanatana Dharma people. Not even from that. Even you should not kill a cow. If you kill the cow, it is as equal, you will get Brahmahati dosha. Therefore we have to be very careful. Now, when he requested, he said the remedy, if you bring Ganga, the river Ganga, that water, when it flows on them, they will get back their sharira. And this Bhagirath became happy. But then he learned Ganga was not on the earth. Then he became very sad. Then Ganga was there in Swarga, in heaven. So Ganga won't come. He cannot even communicate. You have to have the capacity to communicate. He started doing tapas. This prayatna is known as Bhagirath prayatna. Just he began tapas for 1,000 years. Then he could get a blessings of Ganga. Ganga said, my dear, I am pleased with your tapas. I am ready to come to the earth. But my force cannot be tolerated by the earth. Therefore, you find some force which can absorb my force, then I will come down. And then he had a discussion with lots of people, and they suggested to get the Ashirvada, the boon of Lord Shiva. Then he started doing tapas for 1,000 more years. When he finished 1,000 more years, Lord Shiva pleased and he accepted. Okay, I will accept. I will receive the Ganga on my jeta. Okay? In his hair, jeta, it is tied as like a sikara. Then Shiva became little bit, he became little bit irritated by seeing the arrogance of Ganges. Therefore, he wanted to teach, a lesson to Ganges. When she came forcefully, then he received all the Ganga in his Sikha itself, Jeta itself. Then he packed it. That's all. Now Ganga just arrested in his Shiva's Jeta. My God, this Bhagirath became tensed. Then he started doing tapas again 1,000 years. And even Parvati, means Ganga Devi, she started doing tapas because so many years she became suffocated, and she also started doing tapas. Because of this, both people's tapas, the Shiva placed, and Shiva allowed Ganga to come out. She came as a thin like a stream. She came down on the earth. This Bhagiratha, so happily he was leading her on the way to Patala. But what happened on the way to Patala on the earth? Therefore, there was one hermitage which was where our Jannu Maharishi used to live and having tapas. So on the way, when she wanted to cross that way, that Jannu Maharishi's that hut will be taken away. Because when river flows, so everything will be going away. So I have to tell one incident which happened in 2013 in Kedarnath. Himalaya has got 3 sources. So from the Gomukh, Gangotri. Gangotri is the place which was the originate of Bhagirathi. There it is not known as Ganga. Till it is known as Bhagirathi. Now the originate place went 90 kilometers inside. That place is known as Gomukh. From Gomukh, the Bhagirathi comes. From Kedarnath, Mandagini comes. From Badrinath, there's Alaknanta comes. All these 3 together get Sangama in Devaprayag. From Devaprayag, it is known as Ganga. So this Mandagini became very forceful, flooded. Therefore, whole Kedarnath was smashed. So many shops, so many crowds, so many people, everything was cleaned. Now, recently I went 2 weeks ago, so now I could see only, very clean Kedarnath. We should not misuse the nature, it will give back. We have to be careful with nature, because nature goes according to only one law, which is known as Dharma. So we have to be very careful with that. The Jannu Maharishi, who became aware about Ganga, then he swallowed the Ganga. My God, he was very powerful, like Ishvara, like Lord Shiva. That tapas makes you as equal to Lord Shiva. The best example is Ravaneshwara, who became Lord Shiva, like who could have this Navagraha as his step to his throne, Simhasana. He swallowed Ganga without leaving a single drop outside. Now he started again requesting, doing tapas, Bhagirath. Then after the hundreds of years tapas, Jannu Maharishi was placed and he allowed Ganga through his ear. Why? Because once swallowed, it won't come out. When it comes through the mouth, it will be vomited equal. It will be a food as vomited. Therefore, it came through the ears. So this indicates Brahma Vidya. Ganga is nothing but Brahma Vidya. And I also tell you one thing. There are two rivers you have to have in your mind. One is Ganga, another is Narmada. So Ganga, which symbolizes a pure Brahma Vidya knowledge. And Narmada, which symbolizes Yoga Vidya, yogic lifestyle. This is Jnani lifestyle, that is yogic lifestyles. You might have noticed all the yogis are from the Ganges of Narmada, banks of Narmada. And all these knowledge-oriented Jnani people are from bank of Ganga. Okay, so there's the both rivers are very auspicious. The banks of both rivers have got lots of history. Therefore, the Brahma Vidya comes from the head and goes into the ears. So one ears to another ears, one head to another head, she travels. That's what Brahma Vidya Parampara Vishesha. That's what is an indication. You need to have Bhagirath Prayatna to find the secret of the life. You should not lose your confidence. Then from Jannu Maharishi, she came from Jannu Maharishi. Therefore, Ganga also known as Jannavi. Okay, then she came down and she runs over all of those 60 sons of Sagaras. They become alive. Then they took back this Ashwa, means horse. They got Ashwamedha Yaga done. This is how the story completes. So there are so many stories which symbolizes the reality aspects of our life. This is how, Sagara means ocean became Sagaraha. Then the next words, Maharjinam Bhraguraham Giramasmekam Aksharam Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi Stavaranam Himalaya. These words we will continue from the next session tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.